Hello, in this video, today we'll be talking about polymorphism, and we are going to wrap up this class series with this topic. Let's get to it. So, when we are talking about polymorphism, we're talking about different objects can take on many different forms. And if you break down the word, it actually means poly, many, and morphism is that it changes into different forms. And we actually technically already apply this into our real life. Because if you think about it, if you think about your own self, you would have many forms, such as for me, I'm a son, I'm a brother, I'm a teacher, I'm a worker, I'm a developer, and the list goes on and on. I can take on many forms, and I'm just a single object, a single person. Well, the same way goes with coding as well, is that some objects within the coding realm can also take in many forms. The reason why that we need polymorphism is that we may need to be able to share our data between our objects. And one good way that we discuss is that we talked about having inheritance, of having everything a parent has, a child also has. And that is a sense of polymorphism. The child is essentially a iteration of the parent. The other thing is that when we are doing that, we're able to share some sort of logic. If we want to be able to share logic, we might use polymorphism to do that. And lastly is encapsulation. Usually with encapsulation, it means that we are bundling things into one particular type of logic. So with encapsulation, what we mean is that when we are having objects, we want to bundle into common objects that are related to each other. And when we bundle our code together, we may be able to clean up our code a lot. So this is an example we used before, and as you can see here with polymorphism, within this example, you can see that a animal, as well as a bird and a parrot, they all have different forms. They all have different elements because of inheritance. For example, a bird is technically also an animal, and then a parrot is technically a bird, which is also technically an animal as well. And that's what polymorphism is that it's the idea of objects taking on many forms. And here, we can also say that we're able to share data between each of these objects because of this relationship, because of all of the different forms it has. So here's another look at it with our tree model. With the root is animals, and a bird is a type of animal, and then a parrot is a type of bird, which is a type of animal. So with this case, if the data cascades down, then we're able to pass from parent to child, parent to child. So with that, we can also share our logic and encapsulate that this certain polymorphism is going to be about animals. Now, this is where polymorphism comes into play in the real world. Again, we already used this example, but it's a really good example because with this user object, we can also see that the employee is a different kind of user. It just has different fields. It has the employee ID as well as the start date and any other logic related to the employee. Not only that is that it's also a user. So since it's also a user, it also has an email and a password and the ability to change the password. So that is the power of polymorphism. Again, polymorphism just means that objects can take on many forms. And that's to our advantage. It makes everything for us to have access to when there is some shared logic. And it also helps us encapsulate data that is related to each other. And finally, everything the parent has, a child also has. And that is it for this video today. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below and I'll see you in the next video.